Hi there, welcome. Welcome to Homekeepers. So glad to be with you today, my friend. Hope you're having a wonderful day. It's always good to get together. There's a song written quite a while back called, I love the thrill that I feel when I get together with God's wonderful people. Do you ever sit and think about how wonderful it is to be part of the family of God? I know that sometimes you have stories back and forth on the internet and all, and it's absolutely wonderful. We can connect with the family of God right now like we never been able to before and share a lot of the good things that he does. So I hope you're a part of that family. I know I am, and I've been for a long, long time. Well, it's a few weeks ago, I had the privilege of talking to Nina Roesner and to Debbie Hitchcock on different programs. They're both authors, both have a passion for the family, and both of their books have the word respect in them. This is Debbie's With All Due Respect. She wrote that with Nina, and this is Nina's The Respect Dare. One of them deals with marriage, one of them deals with parenting, and I hope that if you ever have the opportunity to read one of them or get one of them, that you will. But they were wonderful ladies and perfect fit for homekeepers, don't you think? Well, I did have the chance to sit down and talk to both of them, so you will hear that and learn more about them today. And got an interesting recipe today, peanut butter cup mousse tart. And we'll explain it when I get over there with Stephanie. It's got a little interesting twist to it today, and we're not sure how it's going to turn out. And before I join her, though, as I mentioned on the last program, you know how you clean out your closet once in a while? I found a number of these books that we've offered last year, I believe. Debt-Proof Living, written by Mary Hunt, very, very qualified to write this book because I think she had to deal with bankruptcy herself. And there's nothing in the world like the learning school of life, is there? And so she is on the other side of that, and a lot of graphs here, how to, you know, get rid of all your debt, how to maybe pay against your mortgage early, get out of that early, pay the principal on it. Wonderful, wonderful things here. So I'm offering this because it's a closet clean out. I'm offering it to you for any amount you send. The information's on the screen right now. You can write to us if you still write checks like I do. Box 6922, Clearwater, Florida, 33758. And if you sometimes pay online like Stephanie, you call 1-800-229-0059 and we'll get it out to you. Knowledge is power. There's a lot of good financial power in this book. I hope you'll take advantage of it. Hello.
Hi.
Well, in the interest of time, this might be a huge disaster, but we can tell you how to avoid it.
Yes, we're learning lessons. First of all, get a piece of paper and a pen because you want this recipe.
Yes.
Yes. Mind-blowingly good.
She kept saying, where'd you get that?
Yes. So, peanut butter cup mousse tart. I learned a valuable lesson. But first, let's start with the base. You have 2 cups of walnuts. You have a cup of oats, 3/4 cups cocoa powder, and a 1/2 cup of maple syrup. You're going to put that in here.
All of it, right?
Yeah, along with a 1/2 cup of peanut butter.
Okay.
So you're going to take a 1/2 of this if you don't have any peanut butter.
All right.
And you're going to put it all in there, and you're going to pulse that.
Okay.
Okay? I have coconut milk, which I'm going to be honest, I have never dealt with before, okay? So it said chill the coconut milk and then take the solid out, okay? I didn't read it like that, okay? Chill the coconut milk and use it is what I got, okay? So I use the whole can of coconut milk, and what it does is it becomes solid at the top, but then then you have like coconut milk juice at the bottom.
Yes,
okay? Liquid. So you're only supposed to use the stuff at the top. See the solid stuff, yummy?
Did you say put 1/2 of this in here?
Yes, please. That's good right there, yep. And then you're supposed to leave the liquid in the bottom. I didn't read it like that. I didn't know that. So our tart is in the freezer. Our tart is in the freezer. And we're just gonna see what happens when I take the outside off because it was still jiggly, okay? So don't do that. Only use the, oh, hey. Only use the solid stuff on the top. Do not use the liquid, okay? I used it all.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was 3 cans of coconut
How do you know when
milk.
this is right?
You just keep going until you're mixed up. Oh, you didn't put the syrup in.
Oh, all right.
We're a mess.
Can we start over?
I have a cup, and so that was 3 cups of coconut milk, just the stuff that formed on the top. I have a cup and a half of melted chocolate chips. And I'm gonna put a half a cup of peanut butter in here, and I'm just gonna whip it up.
Okay.
You're getting there. Nope, nope,
Not yet, not
Nope,
yet.
I can see some dry stuff. Put this over here, and some, where'd my peanut butter go?
It's right here.
Thank you. Peanut butter, I'm gonna mix this up. You're mixing up the base.
How's
There
that?
you go, beautiful.
Is that good?
Yeah, so it makes like a crust we're gonna put in the bottom.
Well, how do you get this out?
Yep, just lift it up.
Oh, just
There
lift
you
it
go.
up. That's way too
Take-
simple. Oh, we got
Take the blade out. Oh, what was that? I missed
we
it.
gotta move along.
Okay, so put that in there. Here, come over here. You come over here and do this, okay?
Okay.
I'm gonna push this on the bottom of the pan, which I have some parchment paper on. Mm-hmm. You're mixing up coconut milk, chocolate, and peanut butter. I'm not even tasting this, people. I'm not even tasting
She's warned
it.
me ahead of time.
Because you know what? We made some stuff yesterday and I ate it all. And sometimes you just gotta say no. I want this so bad. But I know what will happen. I'll taste it and then you'll find me up in my office with a fork and this whole pan eating.
How's that? Is that right?
Yeah, just go make sure you're hitting the bottom of the, yeah.
Well, also,
So-
one of our wonderful viewers sent us a big boxes of cookies yesterday.
Yes, I didn't have any of those. I
Oh,
was
you didn't?
good. No. So
Oh.
you're putting this in the pan and then you're baking it for 15 minutes, okay? And then after you bake it, you bring it out, you cool it, and then you put this in it, which this consistency is so much better than what I had this morning.
And the truth is, you're not supposed to put it in the freezer.
This is like the blooper
Shall we
reel
try to-
of cooking shows right here.
Shall we take this off?
Yeah, I'm dying to try that. Here.
And I got that stuff on my sleeve. This is,
Oh. There.
it's not supposed to be like that.
No, but look here. Here's a pretty side.
Okay.
Whoa. Okay,
Well-
so I'm a mess. Do you want to
And
try it?
I've got food all over my clothes.
Okay.
But if you do it the right way,
Do it the right way. We just want to help you in any way we can. We'll make the mistakes, and then you do it the right way. Okay, here you go.
I'm trying to. Well,
Well,
I am just,
you missed.
yeah, I missed the crust.
Here. Honestly,
Oh boy, is that good.
where's my Grammy? Okay,
You
here
just get
go.
it up on your fingers.
There you go.
Okay. But
It's yummy, I guarantee
it's
you.
this is a learning curve.
Yeah. We have no test kitchen. We are our own test kitchen.
I don't care if you just
So
scoop
good,
it up
right?
with a
That's what
spoon.
I'm afraid. I'm afraid I'm just going to take that up to my office and just with a fork. So ain't going to happen.
We probably never fixed anything that tastes any better than this. But if you want the recipe, that information is coming up on your screen. Best way is email, but otherwise there's other ways you can get it. So then stay with me, and if you haven't met Debbie and Nina, then you're going to love them. Stay here.
If you would like a copy of today's recipe, you may receive it by contacting us through social media as listed on the screen. When requesting a copy through the mail, be sure to include a self-addressed stamped envelope. Thank you, and please know we always appreciate hearing from our viewers.
I am welcoming back two guests who've been on Homekeepers before. They're friends and co-authors, but this is the first time I've had them together. And that's Debbie Hitchcock and Nina Roesner. Welcome back.
Thank you.
And you co-authored this book,
Yes.
which 40 Days to a More Fulfilling Relationship with Your Teens and Tweens, and I don't believe it. You know, I try so hard to be optimistic, and I know God can do anything. I know all that. But when you see the avalanche, and then you read in the Bible where in the last days, and we're living in exciting last days, there's no question, but that children against parents, And so we turn on the TV and people are screaming at each other. I've had to turn off news programs because they're just, and then you watch a sitcom that you think's funny, but everything about it is degrading the family. The man's always the jerk, for the one thing.
Right. Yeah.
And so all of this, it is a tidal wave, and here the Christians are trying to point you back to the scripture. Did you ever feel like there's too much out there? I'm not sure we can cover it with this book.
Oh my word. There's only 40 chapters.
Yeah.
There's only 40 dares. One of the exciting things is I think the book carries a lot of hope in it. And the reason I say that is because I have great relationships with my kids. One's 22 and married, 19 in college, and the 16-year-old. And the reason, one of the main reasons, is because of my friendship with her. Deb is the person I call, okay, so he wants to go do this. Do I want to do that? You know, that kind of thing, because she's had a lot of training and a lot of experiences, a lot of hard things that I've benefited from.
Yes, and when Debbie was on, she told me about the loss of her daughter, and an unbelievable tragedy, but yet within that, you had made some real inroads because you changed. You didn't just decide to scream and nag at this kid to do things a different way. What a lesson, hard lesson.
Well, and it was, but the thing is that when we choose to do things in a way that please God, that respect the other person that we're interacting with, and these are our kids, we love them. When we choose to enter into that relationship, not with the you didn't do, but enter into that relationship with a how can I help? It changes the dynamic. It changes how they receive what it is that we want to really have happen. And so when there's mutual respect in there, it is something that our kids feel. They notice it, they see it, and they want to give it back to us.
And what a teaching tool. Now, Nina, as we discussed on the last program, she was on the Respect Dare, and then the two of you wrote With All Due Respect, and I'm getting the message. I don't think you hear that much about respecting your kids.
Right.
Do we?
Right.
No.
Because I'm the parent, you know.
Well, we want to control their behavior. Our culture teaches us that we can judge other people as a success if their kids are well behaved, right? And that's simply not true. You know, we don't want them living in our basement when they're 25, but we
In their pajamas on their computer.
Hello, yeah. But we do want relationship with them and let them launch them, you know, so that they can go off and do what God has for them and stay in relationship with them, regardless of what that is, as they learn. Because we're not perfect, and a lot of times parents think they're better than their children, and we're all just precious. And these kids, it's neat to be able to walk with them as God does his thing through their lives.
Yeah, and culture is working overtime against the family. It's really frightening. And so you have a bride and a groom. They're both from broken homes. They don't have that model. And the only place you can get is from the Word of God. That's the only place. And of course, this is the basis for your books. You do it God's way, and there's a lot better opportunity that's going to come out right.
Right. And, you know, the principles in the book help us forge that relationship. And what we do in there is we take the scripture that is there, we, you know, lay it in with a story that says this is how to model it. And then we ask some very, very deep questions. And along with that is the prayer. Because, you know, quite honestly, the prayers in that book are just an outpouring of, you know, what we feel as parents. We so want to be good moms. We want to do the things that will help our children launch in a very, very positive way. The problem is when we get our identity wrapped up in their behavior.
I've told this before, and certainly not for any glory on my part, but it's to encourage others. every morning before I come to work, I pray for every family member by name. And I say, Lord, I know you've heard this before, but I think of Hannah in the scripture. She stayed at that altar, you know, wanting, and that's one thing you can do. It doesn't cost a bit of money. And so here I am again, and I go through the grandchildren and their mates and the great-grandchildren, and I pray God will bless them mentally and academically, and that they're going to grow up and be smart and world changers, really, for His kingdom.
Well, I think the thing about Hannah that stands out to me is that Hannah gave him up. She gave Samuel to the Lord. And, you know, our kids are only on loan to us.
Yeah.
And it's up to us to help launch them in a healthy way and give them to whatever God's purpose is for their life. And we don't know what that is.
No, and they'll have to find that, but we can sure lay the prayer on it and guide them. Now, you homeschooled. I love homeschool kids. I've got 5 grandchildren, great-grandchildren right now being homeschooled. And there's something about it. I'm going to tell you one real quick story. I had a little girl in here homeschooled in about 7th grade. She went in that kitchen and fixed freezer jelly. I've never fixed any jelly in my whole life. And you know, when the show was over, she walked in there and cleaned up the kitchen. And that's kind of what I've noticed, that homeschool kids, everything's education. You know,
It is.
making your bed, and this is all part of the routine. But what kind of a blessing have you gotten out of making that choice?
Yeah, I'm one of these weird people that enjoys my kid at every single stage they're in. The newborn thing, not so much. That was hard. I didn't sleep enough. But yeah. But the whole thing is that they're interesting, wonderful, just unique people. And it's a lot of fun. I got to know my kids in a way that was different.
Did you take them through high school?
Kind of. I mean, we did tutoring.
There's a lot of variations with homeschool.
Yeah, so we had tutoring for them from 7th grade through 12th grade with a group of Christian parents that, you know, it was actual teachers that did that. And then they had massive amounts of homework. It was all college prep. They got into colleges, you know, they did fine. And just the whole having them home, though. I mean, my kids want to be with us. They show up. You know, I'm here, and my son and his wife showed up to, you know, hang out this weekend with me being gone and my husband out of town. It was just really cool that they have those relationships, because they have to work through. Well, and you homeschooled too. So,
you homeschooled too?
Yeah, they have to get to know each other and work through conflict. And it's nice to be able to coach
Well, I've
them.
often said, if you want something dumb, really stupid, put 35-year-olds in one room with one teacher. That's a form of insanity. Oh, I got to get to a couple other things. How do you work with, okay, we got the millennials out there, and they've been entitled. I know I've got a couple of grandsons playing football. They lost every game they had, but they still got a trophy. And so we've got that entitled group, and then they're the ones that when they leave home, the Christian kids leave home, go to college, they drop out of church. Now I've heard more recently, last week, about the Z generation. That's new to me, but that's under the millennials, I guess. It's a lot of them are atheists. So this is what Christian parents are battling. They're going against the current.
In a huge way. And if we're not, we don't look any different than the culture. And so that is really what is at the crux of this, at the core of it is, okay, yeah, that works great for you, Mom and Dad. You know, we need to live our faith in a way that is based on real relationship with God and other people in our lives, where there's transparency and honesty. You know, we're so caught up in looking good for other people, you know, that is getting in the way, and it's sin, it's pride. And so our culture is consumed by that, but when we actually focus on being intimate with the Lord and being intimate relationally with everybody in our family.
Make a difference.
Yeah, when I can admit to my son, you know, I shouldn't have been so rude to you. I'm stressed about this other thing, and I blew it with you. I am so sorry. You did not deserve that. He then has an experience of, this is what it looks like to apologize when you're wrong.
Yeah.
You know, because he knew I was wrong, you know?
Not very many parents think they're wrong, though.
Well, and that's pride.
There's a kind of a hierarchy
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, that's pride. And it gets in the way of our relationships, and it certainly doesn't witness to the world.
I think, too, that parents should really look at their priorities. Pastor where I go to church brought that up one day and said, you're selling out to sports. And I was blessed to have what I call church life growing up. I had VBS, I had Sunday school, I had children's church, had the Word. So when you throw that away to go take your kid to a game on Sunday and you miss out on, I don't think that's a very good trade-off at all. And like the pastor said, your kid's never going to earn one dime from the NFL anyway. That would be a really rare situation. So what do you do with this culture the way it is? Look at your priorities as a family. So you don't have time to do everything.
Right, and that's what we teach women is, you know, if you go through this book, we'll ask you to look. What are you putting on the throne in your home? What is happening? Do you have these relationships with your kids, or are you shuffling them off everywhere? And what is going to happen later in life? Because those are situations where they're not learning the life skills that they necessarily need. They're not learning how to, you know, yeah, they're learning, oh, gee, I'm really good at this, or I'm really bad at this, or oh, this, you know, but, and I'll be honest with you, I did the same thing as a parent because that's what the culture says. And so we're asking moms especially to look inward and say, is this the healthy way to get your child launched?
And, you know, so much of it is we're too busy. You know, so if we don't have downtime as a family, if our kid is not bored, boredom's a great thing for a kid. Being able to be still and listen to that inner voice, develop creativity, all those things come from not having 400 things to do. And technology is really impacting that.
That's my next thought.
Yeah, I mean, the 8-year-olds that are going, hey, I need an iPhone. No, you don't. You do not. And yeah, I'm that parent whose 16-year-old does not have a cell phone. We have one we give her when she
that's
goes
child
out. I know,
abuse.
it's terrible, right? But here's the thing, the research shows that the more time we're spending on social media, the more shallow our attention span is and the more shallow our relationships are. We can't focus. If I lay a cell phone out here between the three of us, the research shows that we are lowering the amount of empathy that we're going to have. It's statistically measurable. And you look at what's happening from birth with these babies, you've got 2 years as a mom to create the connections in the brain that help baby form attachment through the release of oxytocin. And it's a very small thing, most boring thing in the universe. It's while I'm nursing or feeding my baby, I'm making eye contact. And what are we doing instead? We're on a phone. And so what that teaches baby is I'm alone, that there's nobody telling me who I am. And they need that the first 2 years of life. And if they don't get it,
it's scary. I wonder what the payday is down the road on all of this. My thought, of course, my kids have been grown and gone a long time, but have you, as authors, thought about there ought to be some real hard and fast rules about the computer and the iPad and the phone and whatever you've got?
Well, there's another piece to this too. And you know, when you go into the hard and fast rules, sometimes that gets interpreted as mom and dad want control. And so it's how do you allow them, you know, decide together as parents, when are we going to allow them to get a phone?
Oh, yes, that says it better than I did.
Yeah, and then the next piece of it is, all right, we're gonna allow you the privilege of having a phone, but we need you to know that this is something that is ours. It's not your phone, it's our phone. And with that comes responsibility. I get passwords, I can pick up your phone at any time and look at it because it's my phone. And
Oh, that's good.
you know, it's but again, it's giving it with here's the boundaries, here's the parameters with which you're allowed to have it. And if that child messes up, which they're going to do.
Win.
Yeah, it is a win. When they mess
That's
up,
wonderful.
you say to them, you know, maybe I was wrong. Maybe you're not quite ready for this responsibility. Let me have your phone. Let's see how you do over the next week, and we'll see if you want to try again.
That is fabulous, and we are out of time again with these great ladies. Again, the book is With All Due Respect, and you can get it on Amazon or any of the other outlets that you're used to getting your books and literature. And I hope if you're ever in the area again, you really promise me you'll come back. And you stay with me. I have a couple things to say before we have to say goodbye.
Arthelene would like you to keep the following information handy. You may contact Homekeepers by writing to Homekeepers, P.O. Box 6922, Clearwater, Florida 33758, or go to www.rippy.org. Remember, we always enjoy hearing from our viewers, and we thank you for your support.
Okay, let me remind you, debt-proof living for any amount of money. You can call us. That information is on the screen, as well as our address. I highly recommend this book to you. And I was just thinking of Nina and Debbie, and thankful for their ministries, ministries that try to go against culture and make the important thing in your life your family. Barbara Bush died some time ago, and she left a lot of wonderful words about your priorities, and that really should be your family. And I heard one pastor say, you know, I've never read anybody's bank statement at his funeral. And all of those things that seem so important now won't mean a thing when you're losing a loved one or when you're ready yourself to die and go on to be with Jesus, hopefully. The thing you remember is your family. The thing you remember are those relationships. And that's why I like to have people on like Debbie and Nina, because they have ministries that try to point you to that, you know, point you away from the cultural priorities and point you to those that will last and live forever. That is really important, and I hope that you will remember that. And do you ever pray that, ask the Lord to remind you of things? I do that. Remind me of the priorities today. Oh, please, God, do that for me. And you join me next time, remembering there's no higher calling than that of a homekeeper. God bless you.
If you should miss a Homekeepers program, you can catch up by going to www.ctnonline.com. Click on CTN Programs and then on Homekeepers.